The year was 1945. World War II raged across the globe. For years, nations had clashed in a brutal conflict. Millions had perished. The Axis powers, led by Germany and Japan, were on the brink of defeat. Yet the fighting continued. In the Pacific theater, the United States battled fiercely against Japan. The fighting was brutal, marked by fierce resistance and heavy casualties on both sides. The US sought a way to end the war swiftly, believing a decisive blow was necessary. Meanwhile, a top-secret project unfolded in the New Mexico desert, the Manhattan Project. Brilliant minds like Robert Oppenheimer and Enrico Fermi toiled tirelessly. Their goal was to harness the power of the atom to create a weapon unlike any the world had ever seen. This weapon, the atomic bomb, held unimaginable destructive potential. Its creation would forever alter the course of human history. The decision to use it, a decision with unimaginable consequences, rested in the hands of a few. August 6th dawned like any other summer morning in Hiroshima. The sky was painted in hues of pink and orange as the first light of day broke over the horizon. The air was heavy with humidity, a typical characteristic of the season. A light mist hung over the streets, giving the city an almost ethereal quality. The rising sun cast long shadows over the city's bustling streets. Market vendors began setting up their stalls, and the aroma of fresh produce filled the air. Citizens went about their daily routines, unaware of the impending doom that lurked in the sky above. Pedestrians walked briskly, some heading to work, others to school. Families prepared breakfast, children played in parks, and shopkeepers opened their stores. The sounds of morning chatter and laughter echoed through the neighborhoods. Life, though touched by the war, carried on. People adapted to the new normal, finding ways to maintain a semblance of routine amidst the chaos. The city, a major military and industrial center, bustled with activity. Factories hummed with the sound of machinery, and the streets were alive with the movement of people and vehicles. Soldiers marched through the streets and factory workers headed to their shifts. The presence of the military was a constant reminder of the ongoing conflict. A young girl, her hair adorned with ribbons, chased a butterfly through a field of wildflowers. Her laughter was a momentary escape from the harsh realities of war. A group of schoolchildren, their laughter echoing through the streets, walked hand in hand to class. Their innocence stood in stark contrast to the world around them. A young man, recently drafted, bid farewell to his sweetheart, promising to return home soon. Their embrace was filled with hope and uncertainty. The mundane details of everyday life unfolded against the backdrop of war. People clung to these small moments of normalcy, finding comfort in routine. Few could have imagined that these ordinary moments of joy, love and sorrow would soon be replaced by unimaginable horror. The city was on the brink of a catastrophe that would alter its course forever. The clock ticked closer to 8:15 a.m., the moment that would forever change Hiroshima and the world. Each second brought the city closer to an event that would be etched in history. At 8:15 a.m., a B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, appeared in the sky over Hiroshima. The plane carried a single bomb, nicknamed Little Boy. It held the power to unleash the unimaginable. The bomb fell. For a brief moment, it seemed to hang in the air, a sinister speck against the bright morning sky. Then, silence. A split second stretched into an eternity. Suddenly, the world erupted in a blinding flash of light. The sky turned white, then a searing yellow. The air crackled with an unbearable heat, instantly incinerating everything in its path. The bomb, detonating 1,900 feet above the city, unleashed a force equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT. The shockwave ripped through Hiroshima with the force of 1,000 hurricanes. Buildings crumbled into dust, trees were uprooted and transformed into fiery projectiles. People vaporized in an instant, leaving only shadows etched onto walls and sidewalks. The immediate aftermath, a city in ruins. The devastation was beyond comprehension, a stark reminder of the destructive power of humanity. The once vibrant city of Hiroshima was now a smouldering wasteland. Streets that were once bustling with life were now eerily silent, covered in ash and debris. The air, thick with smoke and the stench of burning flesh, choked survivors. It was a suffocating reminder of the lives lost and the suffering endured. A monstrous mushroom cloud, black and ominous, towered over the ravaged landscape. It was a symbol of the unprecedented destruction that had been unleashed. Buildings lay in ruins, reduced to rubble and ash. Once proud structures, now nothing more than ghostly remnants of their former selves. Twisted metal skeletons were all that remained of homes and businesses. The infrastructure of the city had been obliterated, leaving behind a haunting silhouette. Fires raged unchecked, consuming everything in their path. The inferno showed no mercy, devouring what little was left standing. The ground, littered with debris and bodies, was unbearably hot to the touch. The intense heat from the explosion had turned the earth into a scorching wasteland. Survivors, dazed and disoriented, emerged from the wreckage. Their eyes reflected the horror they had witnessed, their minds struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the disaster. Many were horrifically burned, their skin peeling from their bodies. The pain was unimaginable, a constant reminder of the nightmare they were living. Others wandered aimlessly, their clothes torn, their faces covered in blood and dust. They were searching for loved ones, for help, for any sign of hope in the chaos. The cries of the wounded filled the air, a symphony of pain and despair. It was a heart-wrenching sound, echoing through the ruins of the once thriving city. A heavy radioactive rain began to fall, blackening everything it touched. This rain was a new kind of terror, bringing with it the invisible threat of radiation. This black rain carried with it the deadly remnants of the bomb, silently poisoning the air, water and ground. It was a silent killer, adding to the already unimaginable suffering. The true horror of the atomic bomb was only beginning to unfold. The long-term effects would haunt the survivors and the world for generations to come, a grim reminder of the cost of war. The unseen scars radiation and its legacy. In the aftermath of the explosion, a new and invisible enemy emerged: radiation. This silent killer lurked in the air, the water, and the very dust beneath survivors' feet. It penetrated their bodies, leaving behind a legacy of suffering that would span generations. People began to experience the agonizing effects of radiation sickness. Nausea, vomiting and fever were common symptoms. Hair loss, bleeding gums, and open sores appeared. Many succumbed to their injuries within days or weeks. Those who survived the initial blast faced a lifetime of health problems. Cancer rates skyrocketed. Leukemia, thyroid cancer, and other radiation-related illnesses became tragically common. Children born to survivors faced birth defects and developmental issues. The psychological scars ran deep. Survivors, known as Hibakusha, faced discrimination and prejudice. They carried the burden of their experience, haunted by the memories of that fateful day. Their stories serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of atomic warfare. Hiroshima's global impact, a turning point in history. The bombing of Hiroshima sent shockwaves around the world. The sheer scale of the destruction and the horrific suffering it caused shocked even those who had created the bomb. The world finally understood the true destructive power of atomic weapons. The bombing fundamentally changed the nature of warfare. It ushered in the terrifying reality of the atomic age, a time when humanity held the power to destroy itself. The balance of global power shifted overnight. The event also had profound political ramifications. It hastened the end of World War II. Japan surrendered just days later, on August 15, 1945, after the bombing of Nagasaki. The bombing of Hiroshima also ignited a global movement for peace and nuclear disarmament. It highlighted the urgent need for international cooperation and dialogue to prevent future atrocities. Remembering Hiroshima, a legacy of peace that echoes through the ages. Hiroshima stands today as a solemn reminder of the devastating consequences of nuclear war, a city that has risen from the ashes to tell its story. The city, rebuilt from the ashes, has become a symbol of peace and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Its streets, once ravaged by destruction, now bustle with life and hope. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, built on the site of the explosion, serves as a poignant reminder of the horrors of that day. It stands as a sanctuary for reflection and a beacon of hope for a peaceful future. The skeletal remains of the Genbaku Dome, once the Industrial Promotion Hall, stand as a stark symbol of the devastation. This haunting structure is a silent witness to the past, urging us never to forget. The stories of the Hibakusha, the survivors of the atomic bomb, passed down through generations, serve as powerful testimonies to the human cost of atomic warfare. Their voices, filled with pain and resilience, echo through time. Their experiences remind us that the pursuit of peace must be an unwavering commitment. It is a call to action, a plea to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again. Hiroshima's legacy is a call to action. It is a reminder that peace is not just an ideal, but a necessity for the survival of humanity. It compels us to learn from the mistakes of the past and to work tirelessly towards a future free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. The lessons of Hiroshima are clear and urgent. It is a reminder that the pursuit of peace is not a passive endeavor, but an active and ongoing struggle that demands our unwavering attention and dedication. Every step towards peace is a step towards a better world for future generations.